Hey everyone, your friendly neighborhood Pants is back with another video, and today I thought we'd take a look at my last handful of Special League matches. So this was the day before the end of the season, and I'm at 1440, which at the time I think was around rank 1800, maybe 2000, something like that. The border is 2500 for those that don't know. People in my guild are speculating that the G1 border would likely end around 1460, just based on how quickly it was growing at the end, or that last week of the season. So I was trying to do some more matches to try to get to that 1460 border that we were predicting. And anyways, let's get into it. All right, so this first match was against Metro Poilu, something like that. He was in G2. And anyways, I first picked Ashir. That was my first pick all season long. Ashir just seemed to have everything you want in 4-star League, from the high base speed to the bar boost to healing, the strip, speed buff. His entire kit just seemed really great. I gave him one of my best Violent Will sets at around plus 180 speed. Along with Escher, I often picked Vigor, Kaki, Fran, and then a handful of others, Beta, quite a bit. Often, if they took Fran, I didn't have a leader skill. I would say like around 80% of my matches during this season, I did not have any leader skill at all. I guess Shimite would be one that I picked occasionally to get a 24 lead, but I wasn't particularly going for first turn. I was just going for monsters with good kits and high efficiency runes and hoping for the best, and I did okay. So anyways, from my Escher, he goes Fran Triana. So there you go, stealing Fran, right? So I go Vigor Kaki, not knowing what's coming next. And he goes Frey and Kinky. Kinky, of course, was the like most OP monster in 4-star Special League. I think almost all of the High Guardian players were just spamming Kinkies because he has pretty decent solo potential. So that was scary. I didn't know really what to go into. I just decided to get some kind of immunity and then Vertihile. Vertihile's not great into Kinky because you can't crit on him, but Vertihile is good against everyone else. I would be able to, have a lot of attack bar increasing with both Ashir and Vertihile, so I thought not a bad pick. And he last picked Cyan, which tells me he's going to ban Beta, so I'd have no immunity and he would have bombs, and that was no bueno. Can't let him bomb me, right? So I ban Cyan, he bans Beta. That was a pretty good last pick by him, I think. So Frey seemed to be like the squishiest monster on his side, so I just went after him as quickly as possible because I don't like Frey. Don't want him to be giving his team speed buffing. He's likely ruined on Despair or something like that, so don't want any stuns. Just gonna try to get it 4v3 as quickly as possible. You can see his Kinky hits hard. I mean, that was greater than 50% health taken away from my Kinky, and that one hit is very impressive. I often found myself saving the skill too until like there was an actual defense break or someone was pretty low, but he just went for it. So getting some good procs there and getting lots of turn cycling, right? So that was my big advantage here, is he has like no turn cycling, so I'm gonna be taking quite a bit more turns than him, assuming he doesn't just finally proc like crazy. So sure enough, I get the kill on Hrey. It's now 4v3. Fran's already pretty low, so I'm feeling pretty good. Of course, he's not going to quit because Kinky has solo potential, so he's just going to grind it out here, which is smart, especially that late in the season. It's probably smart to not just quit out of your matches because all of us are trying to get to that border. I mean, he was at G2. I don't know what safe G2 was, but of course I was trying to get to a safe G1. There I think I switched targeting from my my Kaki to target the Kinky rather than target Triana because I wanted to save Verd to be the one to finish off Triana, since I'd actually be able to crit on Triana and won't be able to crit onto him. Alright, so this next match was against Hitsugaya29. Again, I first pick Ashir, which he brings Shimite and the newly buffed Fire String Master into. So that tells me he's cleaving, right? Often into cleaves I would bring Vigor Triana, the Water Joker, Cyan, Vertihile, Raccoony. It kind of depended on what they were picking, but that was my go-to was Vigor Triana, the Water Joker, along with my first pick of Ashir. So a bunch of tanky monsters and healers and a bomber that comes back to life. So I bring Vigor Triana here. He goes Lucian and Julie. When I see that, I'm thinking he has so much damage that I'm likely to be dying. So again, I'm going to do Water Joker and the Wind Anubis. The Wind Anubis I didn't pick very often this season. I built him as a bruisery type of monster to be my Tessarion, right? So I use Tessarion in normal RTA very rarely, but when I do pick him, he either gets banned or does well for me. Again, it's just kind of a niche pick, but they can do really well, these niche pick monsters, especially as a last pick. So in this case, I don't know if he was the right pick. I was running low on time and just figured if people are going to be dying, why not bring monsters that come back to life? So I picked the Wind Anubis, and then he picks the Fire Blade Master. So I decided to ban Lucian just to try to mitigate some of the damage that's for sure coming my way. He's got quite a bit of damage with Julie and Shimite already, and a whole lot of bar boosting, so it's scary. I do get lucky here. Shimite doesn't finish off my Sand, just procs my Triana, so I get some healing going. However, his Julie is able to finish off my Vigor. If Vigor survived there, then obviously I would have had a much better chance. If I could get both Ashir's heal and Vigor's heal and anti-crit buff, I don't think he'd be able to come back from that. However, that didn't happen. Cyan lands 3 out of 4 bombs. Again, if he landed all 4 bombs, maybe I would have a slightly better chance, but unfortunately, he just did too much damage too quickly, and it's unlikely that Triana would be able to solo 2 fire monsters with a whole bunch of bar boosting, right? That said, since I'm so close to the border, I did try. I was hoping, maybe I can get some crits, though it's unlikely, and maybe I can get some violent procs. But you see they got the slow debuff, they got their own speed buff, they're boosting their own attack bar. It's just not looking good for me at all. So this was GG. Alright, so this next match was against Kawaye, and anyways, he takes first pick Shimite, which again usually tells me they're cleaving. So I do Ashir and Vigor. This is kind of a weird cleave. So as soon as I see Clara and Lauren, I'm like, well, maybe it's not a typical cleave. Certainly not like the Julie Lucian from earlier. It's more of like a crowd control type of thing. So I pick Vertihile and Triana, and he goes Gemini Tyrone. So it's definitely just going for lots of crowd control. He has lots of AoE monsters, and he picked 2 more AoE monsters into what's likely to be a triple Revenge Verd, so I don't know how smart that was, but at the same time, he probably has like a set 5 of monsters, and he's just trying to pick those set 5 of monsters every match to see what happens. It would be my guess anyways. So since he's going to be doing lots of crowd control, I pick Rukuni. There it is. So Rukuni, I highly recommend building if you haven't for both Special League and regular RTA. I'm using her in regular RTA, and she can just work wonders against all the Chungpung, Savannah, more nonsense out there. So I have her built like 100 res, Violent Revenge, and pretty tanky Revenge for her skill 1, which does a little bit of a attack bar increase on, I think, whoever has the least amount of attack bar on your team, something like that. So he bans Triana, thinking, I guess, that he'll be able to kill someone and not have to worry about the prevent death, though I feel like Rukuni might have been the smarter ban, maybe Vertihile, I'm not sure. Regardless, we can see what happens here. You see this is another match where I don't have any kind of leader skill, which I don't think is the smartest thing to do, but it is what it is. So he only lands 1 defense break there, which is unfortunate, and then his Shimite doesn't deal much damage. I banned the Tyrone thinking I didn't want him to have Lauren and Tyrone with attack bar manipulation. That would be not good. Plus lots of freezing, right? So Tyrone was the most scary to me. I do get pretty lucky landing some crits despite the glance on my Vertihile. At least I land a few crits, not all of them, but enough that it makes a difference, right? So there you actually get some defense breaks, but my Vertihile says, let's revenge, and the guy just, he quit. He realized that there's no coming back, right? Alright, so this next one is against at SB at over in Japan, or at least he's got the Japanese flag, and he is a G3. I think, if I recall correctly, this was the only G3 I fought during the Special League season. I think could be the only G3 I've ever fought. I don't know. It's very rare to fight a G3 when you're me, anyways. So I'm expecting to lose, but of course, since I'm trying to get to a safer G1 rank, I'm going to certainly try. He goes Fran Triana into my Ashir, so I don't know what's coming, so I just pick Vigor Kaki, thinking let's just pick my typical units. Of course, he's G3, so he has OP LD4s, so he goes Kinky and Hwadam, which is just mean. It's not nice. So I try to match his LD4 with my non-HOH LD4, like one of 3 that I own, and then Vertihile. I was thinking just like a few matches back where I was fighting a G2 with Kinky, I would just turn cycle on him like mad and get it down to 4v1 against Kinky, and hopefully I can actually win and not get soloed. So I walked right into the Dozer thing, or not Dozer, Dover? I think it's Dover, the Light Bomber. So I only have 1 immunity, he picks a bomber. Very strong tactic. I highly recommend building some bombers, particularly Cyan, since he comes back to life. The Light Bomber is of course really good too. I think for regular RTA, Cyan's probably the more optimal pick the majority of the time, but that was certainly a good pick here. So I knew he was going to ban my immunity, so I had to ban the bomber, and I'm stuck with this garbage Fran, Triana, Hwadam, and Kinky. So I go after Hwadam first because I don't want to have to deal with his passive. Of course, Hwadams are usually high resistance and super tanky, so I know this is just going to be brutal on top of having to deal with, 2 healers. Kinky has heal on skill 1 for himself, but that's not affecting Hwadam's health, which is what I care about at the beginning. I'm not landing my defense breaks, so it's again likely high resistance on Hwadam. That said, I do feel okay. Like, he only has 1 defense break with Kinky, whereas I have both Kaki and Vigor for defense breaking. I have everyone being able to heal. Kaki and Verd. Yeah, Kaki and Verd, that's his name. They can heal themselves at the very least, and Vigor and Ashir can actually heal the whole team. So this was a unfortunate violent proc that comes up right here. Just violent proc directly out of my Endure, so that was unfortunate. So as soon as I kill the Hwadam, I lose my Kaki. So that just is what it is. Still anyone's game. His Kinky seems to not hit nearly as hard as the previous guy. That skill 2 just beat the living crap out of me. So he's going for more tanky, probably high resistance, and maybe taking advantage of long matches since he has Hwadam. So that's probably his strategy. I was thinking like he goes Fran, Triana, Hwadam, Kinky, and then that bomber pick. That's just nasty. So that way he just makes the match long and grindy and takes advantage of the attack up and HP down that happens in RTA. So I can't tell even if his Triana was a crit damage Triana. He did hit hard on that defense break, but there was a defense break, so I'm not sure. So I do get the Triana down, get my turn cycling going. Nice violent proc from Ashir. Unfortunately, no skills ready to do. I'm able to get a little more healing on my Vigor, who is low, but I do get out of the defense break. Anyways, we get it down to 3v1, but at this point my Vigor is low, and I'm not going to be able to crit on him and turn cycle at all. He lands the defense break on Ashir and beats the crap out of me. So that was GG. It's just kind of unfortunate. I think I did do well, but he owns the OP monster, and since he owns the OP monster, it's just he gets wins, right? That's how it works. All right, so here was the last match of the day. I'm at 1456 against G2 at 1524, and he steals my first pick, Ashir. So I go Vigor and Fran, not knowing what's coming up next, just picking 2 units that are usually good into almost any kind of comp, and he goes Shimite Lauren, which tells me it's another one of these like pseudo cleaves. He's going for first turn for sure. He's got a speed lead, a bar booster, a bar reduction person, and strip. So I'm picking my typical anti-cleave things, Triana and Vertihile. He has at least one AoE, so might as well bring Verd. And then he goes Lucian and Mina, to which I go Cyan. Just anytime people weren't bringing immunity, just pick a bomber. It's a pretty good strategy, and certainly in Special League. So he bans the bomber. I banned Shimate because in the event that he didn't ban Cyan, I was afraid that he could kill Cyan and then maybe Shimate skill 3 would be able to strip the invincibility and immunity, or Lauren could strip it, I don't know. And then I was just afraid Cyan would die and not be able to get a bomb off, so went with banning Shimate. I don't know if it's the correct ban, but that's what I did. So anyways, he does the bar boost. He goes after my Vigor. His Lucian hits hard, but no attack buff, so it doesn't hit crazy hard, and I do get a very nice revenge proc, to which I heal everyone to near full and get some more bar boosting going and try to just kill that Lucian to get 4v3 as quickly as possible. I don't know if it's luck there. My Vigor was just tanky enough to not die from Ashir and Mina, rather just proc Triana's passive, which is nice. So anyways, that was good. So I start going after Lauren next because I'm afraid of the defense break and the attack bar control, particularly the defense break. But anyways, it's unlikely he comes back now. He's a little ballsy going after the Vertihile after knowing he's on revenge, but at the same time it does make some sense because you don't want him taking turns. But like I said, it's just ballsy. So he realizes pretty quickly that he just doesn't have enough damage to finish me off. So anyways, after this match I got to 1465, which I think at the time was around rank 1200, and I decided let's just wait till tomorrow and keep an eye on it, and I did that for a while, and it got to be about 3 hours left until Special League ended, and I was at like rank 2400, something like that. And so I was like, well, it's now or never. I gotta go. And I just stayed up absurdly late looking at it and did a couple more matches. So let's watch those. All right, again, so this is 3 hours left until Special League ends. I'm at around rank 2400 at 1465. I match with someone way higher than me at 6040, so lucky him, right? Lucky me. First pick Ashir, he goes Vigor Antares, which just made me hate him. I don't like Antares, just picking all the RNG, so I go double immunity. Then he goes Vertihile Molly, which made me really hate him, because that's just gross and mean. So I pick this Water Succubus girl, I can't remember her name at the moment, but I was figuring maybe I can ban the Molly so he has no cleanser, and then I will sleep the Vertihile and the Antares, just try and control them a little bit while Kaki does some damage. That was my goal. But then he last picked Cyan, and I'm thinking maybe I should have just let Cyan through and continued with my plan of banning Molly, but I ended up banning Cyan. I had double immunity, so I don't know if that was the right decision, but he did ban Fran, so I would only have Triana, and if the bombs went off, Triana could only cleanse one, and certainly Kaki wouldn't survive a bomb, and I don't think the Water Succubus would survive a bomb either, so I don't know if it was the right call or not. It was just what I chose to do, so I had to deal with this just garbage team. So I get a lucky violent proc right at the beginning and land the defense break, but his Antares does proc. I do get to sleep his Vertihile and get the attack bar to 0, which is good. Promptly gets woken up by Molly. Despite Molly's recent nerf, she's still pretty strong. It certainly hurt her, but by no means is she not viable anymore. She's still pretty solid. Like, a violent proc from Molly still seems to heal someone to full, right? So there's another proc on Antares, I don't have any healing available for my Succubus, so he's smart with his Vertihile rather than being greedy and hitting someone that isn't water, to get the attack bar boost. He decides, let's just finish her off, which I think like 90% of the time, if you have the chance to kill a monster, you probably should, because otherwise you're risking maybe they get really good RNG and finally proc into heals and heal them back up. So you should probably just kill someone if you have the chance. So he was smart to do that. And from there, I'm still playing it out because I'm just stressed. But as soon as Kaki dies, I decide to quit out. So again, I'm expecting to just plummet. And this is 4 a.m. for me, so I'm sleepy. I don't want to keep going, but I'm like so close, so I feel like I have to. So we'll go to the next match here. All right, so this next match was against Prubro, who was at 1433, so I was quite a bit higher than him. He first picked Shimate, which tells me cleave. I have an idea for cleaves. It's Ashir, Vigor, Triana, stuff like that. But he takes Triana, so this is another kind of weird pseudo cleave, which I guess is kind of smart to pick Triana because now you don't have to deal with it, right? Because if you're cleaving, you know you're going to be hitting Trianas, but if you steal Triana, now you don't have to deal with it. So then I go Cocky Fran. The reason I go Cocky Fran is because I don't think he has enough damage to make me just go full anti-cleave. Plus he already stole my Triana, so I'm just not sure exactly what to do, but nothing that he's picked so far has scared me to the point where I need to shift my draft one way. I'm just going to pick the typical monsters that I normally pick. So that's what I did. I just went with Cocky Fran, to which he goes the twins, right? Shayna Martina. So here I'm thinking, well, I have immunity, and he has only 2 strippers, but one of the strippers is a single target. So let's go double immunity. I pick Beta, and then ban Martina, so I don't have to deal with that nonsense. So if he only has a single target strip, and I have double immunity, maybe be in trouble. Now, I'm not sure if his ban was the right choice here. Let me rewind, sorry. So he bans Cocky. I don't know why exactly. So he's letting me have double immunity in this case, which just seems like risky business. But anyways, let's get into the match. So his Mina does hit me pretty hard, but nothing too crazy. I think my Beta was on speed defense, not for any particular reason other than to get her to the speed I wanted her to be at. Mina, I know, is often just brutal, like it can do so much damage, but is also usually squishy, like it doesn't have crazy high stats in terms of HP and defense, so I just wanted to get her out as quickly as possible, and I do. I land my defense break, and Ashir finishes her off, so feeling really good, I probably only need like 1 win to get to a safe rank, so I'm thinking, hooray. So 4v3 at this point. He's, of course, not going to just give up because I'm sure he's kind of in a similar mindset, like I'm really close to G1 and I won it, so let's just keep playing to see if we can make it happen. So I'm going after Shayna next because Shayna has the defense break and I'm just scared of the defense break. Despite having double immunity, you see that it can creep in there, so defense breaks my Fran, but Shimate isn't able to one-shot, and I'm able to get some healing, and I'm able to finish off the Shayna. And from there, I don't think there's any way he comes back from that. Not with the amount of healing I have with the Reviver and everything. But again, he's not going to quit out. He's going to hope that I just miss everything and he violent procs like crazy. And maybe he can somehow get a win. But it's pretty much hopeless at this point. Alright, so that win got me to 1469 and rank 1860 with, again, around 3 hours left until Special League ended. So here's my past record, which was also my best score, and that current rank at that time. So you can see I didn't do as many matches, but they were much more quality matches. I did try really hard this season. I really fine-tuned my units and won at G1. Like I've been winning Guardian and regular RTA for like 5 or 6 seasons now, and still haven't come close. And this was my closest to getting a red star on my profile in Special League, and so I was feeling good. You know, I found it to be unlikely I would fall 600 ranks in 3 hours. So, and again, it's like 4 a.m., so I'm super sleepy. And I figured if I do another match and I lose, then I'm gonna have to keep playing, which means I'm gonna have to keep staying up late, which just isn't smart. So I decided to go to bed, and I wake up the next day, and my guildmate has DM'd me and says the cutoff for G1 was 1470. So I was a point off. It was sad. Sad day for Ben. Sad day for the pants. So here I am, 1469, rank 2568. That's an improvement, new best, but my C3 curse remains. I've been C3 each season for like so long, too long, anyways. So yeah, that's all for this video. I'll try to get G1 again this RTA season. I really like the monkey monkey kings. That's what they are. Mei Ho Wang, right? Those guys. I really like this the new skins. They look pretty dope. So gonna try to get G1. We'll see. I'm not hopeful, but it could happen. Again, I'm gonna play a lot, and we'll see if I can make it happen. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.